Runaan's Hurricane or Static Shiv. Both items typically fill a similar role, with Hurricane typically being reserved for champs that have significant on-hit effects. But which item is actually better? Let's find out. First, let's take a look at the base stats of each item. Hurricane offers slightly more attack speed and movement speed, and both give 30% crit chance. The passives are where they really differ, however. Hurricane fires 2 extra bolts that deal 25% AD plus on-hit effects and can crit. Shiv deals up to 120 magic damage on up to 5 enemies and can crit, but has to recharge before it can proc again. For the purposes of this video, I've taken the AD, base attack speed, and attack speed per level from 10 auto attack based champs and averaged them together. Our average marksman has 97 AD, base attack speed of 0.641, and attack speed growth of 47.45%. First, I compared just the two items side by side, with no other items to modify the outcome. Over 10 seconds, Static Shiv deals 2,000 damage to the primary target and 1,900 magic damage spread between 4 secondary targets. Shiv attacks 12 times, crits 4 times, and procs the passive twice. Over 10 seconds, Runaan's Hurricane deals 1,900 damage to the primary target and 1,200 damage spread between 2 secondary targets. Hurricane attacks 13 times and crits 5 times. So at first glance, Shiv is better, right? Well, not so fast. You can buy 6 items, not just 1. So now let's compare the stats of the items combined with an Infinity Edge. Over 10 seconds, Static Shiv deals 4,500 damage to the primary target and 1,600 magic damage spread between 4 secondary targets. Shiv attacks 12 times, crits 8 times, critically procs once, and procs normally once, for a total damage of 6,122. Over 10 seconds, Runaan's Hurricane deals 4,600 damage to the primary target and 2,600 damage spread between 2 secondary targets. Hurricane attacks 13 times and crits 9 times for a total damage of 7,245. With just these 2 items, the Hurricane is already dealing about 1,000 more total damage. Let's see what happens with a full build. For this, I used a fairly balanced ADC build with no on-hit effects other than lifesteal and no armor penetration. This build has 100% crit chance, so every Shiv proc will be a crit. Over 10 seconds, Static Shiv deals 13,000 damage to the primary target and 2,400 damage spread between 4 secondary targets. During this time, you will lifesteal back 2,600 health. Shiv attacks 17 times, crits 17 times, and critically procs twice, for a total damage of 16,285. Over 10 seconds, Runaan's Hurricane deals 13,500 damage to the primary target and 7,100 damage spread between 2 secondary targets. Over this time, you will lifesteal back 4,000 health. Hurricane attacks 17 times and crits 17 times, for a total damage output of 20,672. With a full build, Runaan's Hurricane pulls way ahead, dealing 4.3k more damage than the Shiv build. Worth noting is that this build has no real on-hit effects, so the Runaan's version would pull even further ahead if Bloodthirster was swapped out for a Blade of the Ruined King or any other on-hit item. To sum things up, Runaan's Hurricane is a far better item than Static Shiv in almost every situation. Even with a build that has 0 on-hit effects, Runaan's single target damage is effectively equal to Shiv. In a full 5v5 teamfight, Runaan's exceeds Shiv by 4.3k total damage. Another advantage Runaan's provides over Shiv is that it still provides full damage as long as there are 3 targets, while Shiv's total damage output is lower versus less enemies. Shiv seems to only really be useful for wave clear, as the proc's damage is amplified versus minions. With Infinity Edge and enough AD, a Shiv proc can one-shot 5 non-siege minions. It's okay if you're going to be dueling, because Shiv does have higher burst damage, and as stated before, negligibly higher single target damage. On the other hand, Runaan's does give slightly higher movement speed, along with allowing you to lifesteal off of any nearby minions, so it's not bad for dueling either. One thing I'd like to point out is that there are absolutely no bad Hurricane champs. Yeah, even Vayne. I don't know when exactly Riot changed it, but Hurricane no longer breaks silver bolts. With Hurricane, silver bolts will stack on the primary target as they should, without being affected by the 2 secondary attacks. That's all for today, guys. I hope you learned something and can put this to good use in your games. If you like this, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and remember, if you're having trouble, just pink ward the spirits.